Good morning, friends. Department of ECE welcomes you to the lecture series on computer communication networks. Subject name Computer Communication Networks 17 EC 64, 6 semester A and B, Module 5, lecture number 42. The contents covered in the previous lecture are the transport layer introduction, transport layer services like process to process, encapsulation, decapsulation, multiplexing and deplexing, and flow control. The topics in this section we are discussing error control, congestion control, connectionless service, and connection oriented service. And even we are studying the finite state machine for the connectionless and connection oriented. The objectives of today's class are to discuss error control and how it can be achieved at the transport layer, to discuss the congestion control, how it can be achieved at the transport layer, to discuss the connectionless and connection oriented services at the transport layer and show their implementation using an FSM. The first we'll discuss what is error control at the transport layer. We know that at the transport layer, the sender and receiver, they are logically connecting each other, and through that logical link, the communication will takes place. When a sender has some data to share with the receiver, he receives the data from the application layer and he processes that, he makes the packets. Through the logical link, he forwards that packet to the receiver transport layer. When the receiver transport layer receives that, so it will be analyzed, the packet will be analyzed whether the received packet is get corrupted or is it free from error. So that is what it will be monitored, and accordingly the error control message will be send it back to the transport layer, so that whatever the shortcomings we noticed at the receiver side, so that is what we can control, that can be get controlled by the sender. So this how the error can be, we can control it. In order to do that, for error control we required a sequence numbers. So with the help of the sequence numbers only, we can monitor the errors, whether any duplication is there. If something went wrong, how can I inform my sender? So this all the activity we can carry out by using with the help of a sequence numbers, and that are called as the modulo 2 to the power of m, where m is the size of the sequence number filled in bits. Let us discuss much more on this sequence numbers now. For error controlling at the transport layer, we take the help of the sequence numbers. The packets are numbered with sequence numbers. The field is added to the transport layer packet to hold the sequence number. When a packet is corrupted or lost, the receiving transport layer can inform the sending transport layer to resend that packet using the sequence number. The packet allows m bits for the sequence number. The sequence numbers may range from 0 to 2 to the power of m minus 1. For example, if the size of that the sequence size is m equal to 4, then the sequence numbers will goes through 0 to 15. So the sequence numbers in this case are, so it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on up to 15. Once it reaches to 15, again that will be reset to 0 to next 15 year. So that's how the sequence numbers we are referring it. Now let us discuss, there are two formats of uh, the the formats to monitor that sequence number, that are circular format and a linear format. Let us discuss about the circular format, how it works, and later we'll move to the linear format. In circular format, we are having a circularly numbered sequence numbers. So that starts with 0 to 15. The initially the pointer will be pointing to the zeroth sequence, the sequence number of the first outstanding packet, and as well as the sequence number of the next packet to send. So both will be pointing to the zero. So as and when we are keep on processing whatever the request we are getting, the packet request we are getting from the application layer, we receive that and we process it and we start delivering accordingly with providing that respective the sequence number, whatever it is pointed by the sequence number of the next packet to send. So that's way already I mentioned here, the four packets are already been sent out here. So that stands with the sequence number as 0, 1, 2 and 3 here. The four packets have been already sent out. So let us take the another scenario. In this, the five packets have been sent it out now. When the five packets are sent out, you can just note on that there the pointer will be pointing, previously it is 4, now it is pointing to the fifth one, the sequence number for the next packet to send, because the 4 are already occupied, because the 5 packets have been sent out here. So that's why the sequence number next to packet to send is pointing to the fifth one. Similarly, you can take down another case. In this, the 7 packets have been sent out, and that's why my sequence number, the next to packet send is pointing to the seventh number here. So that's how every time whenever we get any request from the application layer to the transport layer, so where that the sequence number next to packet sent, so that sequence number will be get appended to that the packet as a sequence number, and that will be get delivered, and then the sequence number next to packet will be incremented. So this how this the sequence number in the circular format it works, and that slot will be get marked here. So every slots will be whenever the sequence number will be we are assigning, so that will be get marked, and that is what we noticed in this three figures here. So let us discuss about the fourth one. In this, if any one of the packet will be received successfully by the receiver, then when he sends an acknowledgement, how this the circular format sliding window it works. So now we are noticing in this fourth figure, that is D, the packet 0 has been acknowledged by the sender receiving receiver side here. Then that 0th slot will be unmarked. And now my sequence number for the first outstanding packet will be switched from 0 to 1, because now the 0th slot will becomes empty now. So whenever I come back to 15th, the next packet to send is when I reach to 15. So even I can make use even 0, because it is already get cleared here, because that was successfully done here. So that's why even that slot is available for me to make my to assign for the packet if any request comes here. So that's how the circular format, the sliding window, it will keep on assigns a sequence number for the received the request from the application packet here. So that's how this circular format it works. So let us discuss about now a linear format. So the linear format is exactly same as that of the circular format. If this linear this format, if I bend it, again it looks like the circular format. The intention of going with the linear format is that it occupies the less space compared to the circular format here. So that is the major difference between that linear format and the circular format. The rest of the thing will be works same as that of the circular format. So in this diagram, I have mentioned that there are 4 packets have been sent it out. So that are marked with orange color as 0, 1, 2, 3. Now the 4 and 5, 6 are, so because I not received any packet, I am waiting if any packet arrives from the application layer. So for that I can assign the sequence number as 4 here. So in this you can note down, so the 5 packets have been sent it out. There are 5 packets have been sent it out with the sequence number starting with 0 to 4. So that is what it is mentioned in this. Now the 7 packets, in this case the 0 to 6, the 0 to 6, all the 7 packets have been, we are assigned the sequence numbers, whatever the request are received from the application layer, all that the request will be get processed with the sequence number. Now this window, whatever the window I mentioned here, this window is now completely filled with the orange color, that is starts with 0 to 6. It means that if any further request if I am getting from the upper layer, it indicates that the buffer is full, I can't accept any request because I don't have any sequence number, because until and unless my sliding window will be slides further, it provides me an empty slot for me. So until that I cannot assign any sequence number. So right now that is what it is mentioned in this, the third figure here. The 7 packets have been sent and therefore the window is full. So I cannot accept any furthermore a request from the application layer. So that is what it is mentioned. So then when this the window will becomes free now. So that is what it is elaborated in this, the next one. In this one, now the zeroth the packet have been acknowledged by the receiver transport layer. So therefore the window will be slides down by one position, what I mentioned in this diagram, the fourth diagram here. So therefore now in this the sequence number 1 to 6 are still, I have not received any acknowledgement, so therefore they are the orange color, whereas the seventh one, so that is what the number, the sequence number, what I can assign if any request comes, a single request comes from the application layer, that I can accept it and that I can process it. So because that window, in this window a one slot is free here, so I can accommodate a single packet here. So this how the sequence numbers can be, we can assign, and with the help of this we can monitor the control, the error controlling can be monitored, because whenever I receive, a receiver may be receiving two packets having a same sequence number, so the receiver can understand that, so this is the duplicate of that. So therefore he can accept one and he can discard another one. So this is one case. A second case, if any one of the sequence number a receiver has not receiving, then he will intimate to the sender stating that this particular sequence number, whatever the gap he has noticed, the receiver has noticed, and that is what he is going to inform to the sender stating that you resend this because I not received it, or I may be corrupted, the received packet will be get corrupted. So that's way, by referring to the sequence number, we can have a controlling, the error controlling can be, we can achieve it. The next comes about the congestion control. The basically the congestion control, it means in a network, it is having, the network is having its a capacity to withstand, it can have a load to withstand, some load it can withstand it. Within that load, if I am transferring my packets, then what happens, I can withstand and there will be no congestion in that. My capacity of the network is very less, and if I am transmitting much more rate, then what happens, the network will be get congested. So this is what we need to avoid it. So normally we can take one example. In a road, if there are the traffic will be in a properly, if it is managed, whatever the number of vehicles are they are traveling in that road, if they are following all the traffic rules, they are moving accordingly, then there will be no issue in there will be no issue. But something went wrong abruptly, so some collisions will be happened, then what happens, that road will be get blocked. Similarly here also, if at the network layer everything will be is going in the right direction, then there is no problem of the congestion rising. If something went wrong at the network layer, then the traffic will be generated, then a congestion will be occurs. So that's how whatever the activities we need to follow up, so that activities we supposed to carry out regular intervals in the, by following all the protocols, then we are not facing the problem of congestion. So let us discuss about uh, two kinds of protocols, that are connectionless and connection oriented protocols at the transport layer. Let us begin with a connectionless. In connectionless, we are not creating any connection from the source transport layer to the destination transport layer. So just like in the network layer, what we have discussed in the earlier chapter, so here also there is no link will be created from the transport layer, the sender transport layer to the receiver transport layer. Without creating any connection, so we supposed to make our communication. So that is what it is elaborated in this slide here. We are considered a client process and a client transport layer as a sender, and similarly we consider the server transport layer, server process at the receiver side. So client means it's a application layer, the application layer of the sender. He generates some information or a message, and that will be get transferred to the transport layer for further the process. So whatever the application layer, it produces some messages or information, so it will not send that information in the bulk. It makes a small chunks. The chunks is nothing but here I mentioned as a message, and that messages will be uh, forwarded to the, the client transport layer. So I have considered in this example the three messages or a three chunks will be the forwarded by the application layer to the transport layer of the client. The message 0, message 1 and message 2. When the transport layer receives these messages, it is handling these messages independently. There is no dependency on each other message here. It handles every message independently, and therefore the message 0 it receives it and it makes the packet of that as a packet 0, and that packet will be forwarded through the connectionless connectionless service here between the sender transport layer to the receiver transport layer. So secondly, the message one also it is received, the transport layer is received, and it makes a packet of that as a packet one. So because of that process, so it has taken a much more delay, and by that time the message 2 has occurred, and it makes a packet of that, and that packet 2 will be delivered, and this consumes less delay compared to the packet 1. So therefore the packet 2 at the receiver side, the message 0 will be arrives in right time, and now because of the delay occurred at the packet 1, so therefore the packet 1 will be arrives later than the packet 2. So therefore the message 2 arrives first here, and later we are getting the message 1. So as we don't have in a connectionless service, we are not having the error control, flow control and congestion control. So we are not able to make out which are the packets are errored, because we are not having a sequence number here in order, because I mentioned that there is no error control means we are not following any sequence number. So therefore the receiver doesn't come to know how many packets, how many the sequence number packets he has sent. So whatever I received in whatever the order, so that is what I receive it, I keep on forwarding it. So this is what the problem what we are facing in the connectionless service at the transport layer. So let us discuss about what how exactly the connection oriented service takes place. The major difference between the connectionless and connection oriented is that in connection oriented, we need to establish the connection first. Once I establish my connection, then only I can make the data transfer. So until that, before establishing the connection, I won't able to send my data. So after transferring of my data, so later I'm going for the closing of that connection here. So this how we are facing the phases here at the connection oriented service: establishment phase, the data transfer phase, and the connection tear down phase here. So let us discuss how established the connection will be established at the client and the server, and how we are transferring our data, and how we are tear down that established connection here. So in this, I mentioned the connection request has occurred from the, the client application layer. The request has occurred. Now, according to that, that request will be received by the transport layer of the client, and that request will be forwarded to the receiver or a server transport layer. So I wanted to interact with you. So kindly accommodate me here. So that is what the request has occurred. So for that request will be get processed, and that request will be acknowledged by the server to the client now by sending one acknowledgement. And this is one way a connection is established. From the client to the server, a connection is established. Now the server also establish a connection with the client so that we can have a bidirectional communication. So therefore now in the third message, the server is sending a request. Open request packet will be forwarded from the server transport layer to the client transport layer. So that request have been arrived at the client transport layer. So that request will be accepted, and he will send an acknowledgement. The fourth message, he is sending acknowledgement packet back to a server from the client to the server here. So this way the connection establishment phase will be creating a connection or establishing a connection from the client to the server. Once a connection has been established, the next one is the data transfer here. So at the data transfer phase, again the similar activity we are noticing just like in the previous one in the connectionless, with a little bit modification to that. Again I got the message 0. I make a packet of that as a packet 0 because now it's a connection oriented. Therefore I am following here error control, flow control and congestion control. So therefore I am following here a sequence numbers. So therefore I am mentioning my first packet as a packet 0, and that packet will be forwarded to the server as a receiver. When a server receives that packet, that transport layer server receives that, and that message will be forwarded to the application layer, and then it will sends one acknowledgement to the client transport layer. When the client transport layer receives that acknowledgement, then that packet will be removed off from its buffer. Then the packet 1 is also forwarded by the client, and as well as the packet 2 is also forwarded. Now the server transport layer is expecting the packet number 1, but it has received the packet number 2. So therefore that packet will be kept in the hold, in the buffer it will be kept. It is not delivered to the server application layer. Once it receives a packet number 1, and for that it sends an acknowledgement, and that packet will be get delivered to the server application layer, and later it will be delivering the packet to the server application layer. So this how the sequencing, because of the sequence numbers, the server transport layer, it makes a decision and it is sending those packets in order to the server application layer. So unlike in the connectionless service, there the out of order packets will be delivered to the server application layer. But here we are not facing that kind of problem at the server process. So this how some improvement we are noticed in the connection oriented service. So we discussed the connection establishment phase, and even we discussed the data transfer phase, and let us discuss now how a connection will be terminated. So the connection termination, again we are getting a request. A client will be requesting for that. So tear down this established connection, because whatever the data I wanted to exchange with you, I did it. So kindly tear down now. So that is what the request is getting from the client application, and that will be get processed, and that request will be forwarded to the server transport layer. Once the server transport layer receives that and it accepts that request, and it will be sending a packet here, acknowledgement packet for that. And now that connection from the client to the server will be tiered. And next, the server also, it will send a request stating that whatever the link I established with you, the client, so you can also tear down that. That request will be forwarded by the server transport layer to the client transport layer. When that request received by the client transport layer, then the client transport layer will be sending an acknowledgement for that. And now both the directions, the client to server and server to client, both the connections will be teared down. So this how in connection oriented service, the establishment phase followed by the data transfer phase, and later that established connection will be tear down here. So that how like that this connection oriented service it works. The same operations, let us discuss the connectionless and connection oriented service with respect to the finite state machines. So first we'll discuss about the connectionless finite state machines. In this, we are having a single state here, and that is represented with a circled rectangular box, and that state is represented as an established state. And if any request comes or any event or action will becomes, and that is what we represented with the pink color. It is now in connectionless service at the sender side and as well as the receiver side, both will be in the established states, both will be in the ready states. If any request comes from the client to the server, the receiver will be processing, and that is what it is forwarded to the receiver application layer. And if any application layer of the sender side is sending any request to the transport layer of the sender, and that request will be received and that will be processed and that will be transmitted to the receiver transport layer. So therefore in connectionless FSM, we are noticing only one single state, and that state is established state. Both the states will be, both the stations will be, sender station as well as the receiver stations, both will be in the established mode here. So coming to the connection oriented service FSM, we can note down there are some different states, and that will be represented with the colored here, the orange color, black color, and the white color. So these are the various states we are noticing, because we just now we studied that in connection oriented service we are facing, we are having the three different phases, that are establishment phase, data transfer phase, and connection tear down phase here. So let us discuss how exactly it works, and let me give you this brief notification about this diagram, what it. So the colored or square rectangular boxes with the rounded circle, that edges, the corner rounded, so that are represents the states, and the pink color text is representing these are the events to occurring, and below that we are noticing a black text. The black text, it is representing, it is an action, what action we are taking for that. So this is what about this diagram. Let us start that how it establishes, how data transfer takes place, and how tear down takes place. So let us, we starts with the closed state. We are in the right now in the closed state, and therefore the pink color is indicating the activity is initiated now, initialized. When the request comes to open a request from the client application, then that application request will be forwarded to the receiver transport layer. Then it moves from the state closed state to the open wait 1 state. And when the receiver, the transport layer sends an acknowledgement back to the client transport layer. Then the client transport layer, which will be switches from the state open wait state 1 to open wait state 2. Now a request will be arriving, another request will be arriving from server transport layer to the client transport layer. Open request packet request is arriving. When that request is arrived, then the client transport layer will be sending an acknowledgement from the client transport layer to the server transport layer. Now the connection has been established from client to server and as well as the server to client. Now the connection is established. During this established state, whatever the data the client and a server they are having, that data will be get exchanged. Once the data transfer is done, then the client will be requesting, it will be sending another request. It is sending a request packet stating that the connection close request will be sent from the client transport layer to the server transport layer. Now it is switched from the established state to the close wait 1 state. Now under this state, the receiver, that is server transport layer, is accepting that request and it will be sending an acknowledgement. I have accepted this close request. Then the state will be changing from close wait 1 to closed wait 2. Now the server transport layer will generate another request stating that the close request packet is arrived from the server transport layer to client transport layer. Then the client transport layer will accept that close termination request and it will send an acknowledgement for that. Then it will be switching from the closed wait to state to closed state. Now either way, client to server and server to client, either direction the connection will be teared down. So therefore we are entering into finally the closed state. So this how the connection oriented service can also be elaborated by taking the help of finite state machines. So for summary, in the summary, the main duty of the transport layer is to provide a error control and congestion control. And we also discussed about connection oriented and connectionless services with the help of the finite state machines. So for additional reference, you can refer the data communication and networking, that is Forozen. The copy, the 5th edition Forozen copy, you can refer it. So thank you one and all.